Alright, now I have a better signal generator up here. I can see what's going on. So it kind of has green, but it's not really working that well. Not really. There's red, there's green, and there's blue. So there's something wrong with the indexing. I don't know what, but something is. And then we got chroma noise, bars, crosshatch looks good. Steps, black and white looks really good. Color's wrong. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. Here's a sweep. You look at that. See the IF response change there? That's strange. It's kind of, yeah, anyways. Also, it's not the indexing sensor, because if I grab my flashlight, because the indexing sensor is right here. If I grab my flashlight and point it towards the indexing sensor, you start to lose it, and then that's it. See that? So the sensor is operational. So that is not the problem here. But there is something wrong with the color reproduction. I don't know what. Howdy everybody in YouTube land. Welcome to part 2 of the Sony Watchcube Indextron repair video. So we last left off when we got the set working, but the color was off. So there's an indexing pulse. From what I understand, you got red, green, blue, then index, red, green, blue, index, all the way through it. And the frequency, the PLL circuitry at which the index switching is occurring versus the speed of the gun is off. I don't know 100% yet, but before we go through any more adjustments in troubleshooting, we need to change the rest of the capacitors that are left behind. So this was recapped already by its owner, with the exception of this module here, which still has its original capacitors along with the tuner module down there. Now this is responsible for the indexing, so I need to get in here and change those caps out before we can do any more adjustments in troubleshooting. So after we do the capacitor replacement, if it's still not quite right, which I expect it to be, then we just get in here and actually adjust it. Now I don't have the right equipment to do that, so we're going to have to play it by ear based on the information we find in the service manual for the American version of this. So, alright, without further ado, let's get started. So I need to get this back out of here. Alright, so this one here's done. I still got to do this one. Now, these are probably okay. I remember running into some bad ones earlier though, so I want to change them anyways. But this circuit was generally working. But, more importantly, I didn't see any evidence of leakage with these, but I'm pretty sure these boards were ultrasonically cleaned anyways. So there's whatever fluid was left behind is likely gone. But I did smell it when I was heating the solder up to, take them out. So yeah. Now, unfortunately, there's a bipolar capacitor here, which I couldn't get the exact size one, so it's kind of big, and I had to lean it over, but it won't hurt anything. So they've all been done. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any here. So, yeah, we're all good. Now, I'm probably still going to have to tune this thing, but anyways, that's done. Now I got to move on to this one, which, now, I did this sheet off of a different one, which you'll see that later. If anybody that follows my Twitter already knows, I've got another one of these I'm working on simultaneously with this one, and I did this cap list off of it, and there are some differences, like, because this is the V2 and the other one I have is a V1. Well, the V1 has this cap, but the V2 does not. It's missing. The footprint's there for it, but it's not there. So that's one difference. Now the other difference is right here with this. So this has a 33 microfarad to 25 volt. Well, this one does not use that. but there's a 100 microfarad at 25 volt that lays down, which this one doesn't use. They actually used a 47 at 16 there. So there are differences. There's two 47s at 16, which that appear to be fine. Over here, this cluster of 3 there appear to be fine or normal. And then we have a 33 at 25 there, which is right. 2.2, 22 at 25 there. Yeah, they're basically the same with the exception of a few little differences here and there. But I'm going to verify all of that before I start pulling all of these caps, because I don't want to pull all these caps and then look at here and realize they're not the same. So I'm going to verify all of that, and then we're going to recap this one too. And there we go, all done, with the exception of this one over here, but I don't have that one on hand because this is a different revision. But that's fine. The core of it is done now, and at this point we just got to put it all back together and then adjust the color indexing circuitry if it's still off. Plus we need to adjust these to make sure that those are accurate too, and then the plastic is starting to degrade and crack on that as well, which is interesting to me. Alright, so it's really hard to see because of the way the camera is at this point, but I got red, green, blue. I got it to work by tweaking on this potentiometer down. You'll see it here in a minute. So I had to tweak the phase control and the focus control to get it right. But I got a new problem. It's washed out. The brightness and contrast control here and here do absolutely nothing. It does nothing. So I don't know if it was doing that before. I can't remember. I don't think so. I think that's a problem that I just caused by recapping it. I'm not sure though, but that's an issue. So I got to find out what's going on with that. But yeah, from back here, the color's working now. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. But I can't really tell until I get the brightness down. So yeah, this is an issue. So color's there. The camera's just washing it out, unfortunately, but it's really washed out in real life. So yeah, I don't know what that is. So I gotta tinker with it some more. So it is indeed a problem that I caused. So when I was removing these caps, these traces and pads are very, very fragile, and the leads are bent over, so you have to bend them up and pull the cap out. Well, this cap here, you can see where the trace, this pad was lifting up, so I pushed it down. Well, it actually broke it. It broke this cap loose, so there's no connection between here and here like they're supposed to. Well, if you follow this, it goes all the way through, it goes over there, but it also snakes around and comes all the way to this sub-brightness adjustment. So that makes sense. It's the only break I can find so far, so I'm going to patch that up real quick, and that should fix my problem. I hope. Yeah, that's far better. So, red, green, blue. Red's kind of muddy, but it's a little bit on the side. But it's close enough to where I don't think this thing's ever going to be perfect, and it's reproducing the colors properly. So there we go. That problem is solved. Yeah, I broke the trace on the bottom of the board, but I fixed it. I patched it up. Now, this is the adjustment I was going after right here. And it's barely on the threshold of working. So if I bring this back in red, this phase adjustment's just like right there. It's weird, because here's what'll happen. Turn it just a little bit one way and you lose the phase. The phase is off. You turn it the other way and then you lose. See what I mean? So it's like barely, it's like literally right on the threshold of working. So there's some, if you turn too far, you'll get color banding. So it's literally right on the threshold. Yeah, it's just very, very close to not working to bring this one in. Not a whole lot we can do about it, but it's there. It's going to work enough. So I think we're good here. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy back together and then potentially end this video. So there we go. Just needed some adjustment. Alright, so the Original owner has some of the pieces I'm missing because I went to go to try to put this together, but I don't have all the pieces. I'm missing the shield for the transformer, and I'm missing a couple of other little things, so I can't fully put it together into a final test, so we're just going to leave it as is. I'm going to put it together as much as I possibly can, and then it's going to go back to its original owner just like this, semi-buttoned up. So that is going to be it for this particular video. I've got another one of these in progress, which I own, and it is a complete... it's a disaster. And you'll see more of that in a later video, but just like this one, the little DC converter IC went bad in that one too, and you can't get them anymore. They're all sold out, so I've got to do some power supply engineering, and I'm a bit rusty on the analog side because I haven't touched it since college. But that's all for another video. So anyways, it was a color phase adjustment. I did recap it. It didn't do any difference, but I did adjust the phase adjustment and the focus, and everything's all good now. So if you enjoy this content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and all of that fun stuff. And don't forget to leave a comment. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching.